Well, we're celebrating Labor Day here in the United States. I don't know how much people pay attention to these sorts of vacations anymore because there's so many people who are on gig work or freelancing and otherwise working on Labor Day. It used to be everyone took it off, and it was just terrific. Well, with that kind of short introduction, I know you have some things to say about that, plus some updates, Trina. Why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Yes, and everybody, this is Labor Day, and I was very much moved by a. I turned on my radio the other night on Friday, Saturday night, and I heard this gorgeous voice. You have Paul Robeson suited to bring up Scott?
I do. Do you want to start it off with that?
With that, this is to me. This is Joe Hill, and I looked him up, and he is a real labor leader who was then killed with a firing squad, probably unjustly, in Utah. And so the message in it is that he's 10 days dead, but his message does not die. And I hope for all of us that our message and the love that we give will not die when we do. So this is a real labor ode with Paul Robeson. Okay.
I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. In Salt Lake City, Joe, says I, am standing by my bed. They framed you on a murder charge, says Joe, but I ain't dead. Says Joe, but I ain't dead. The copper bosses killed you, Joe. They shot you, Joe, says I. Takes more than guns to kill a man, says Joe, I didn't die. Says Joe, I didn't die. And standing there as big as life, and smiling with his eyes, says Joe, what they can never kill, went on to organize, went on to organize. From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and mill, where workers strike and organize, it's there you'll find your hill. It's there you'll find your hill. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. I never died, says he.
This is Labor Day, and I'm thinking of all the people who labor without much appreciation and have for so long, so long, so hard. And today's gospel, I thought was appropriate to read a little part of it. It's not a particular Labor Day gospel. It's just comes as part of our Catholic liturgy, but it's truly a beautiful little section. It's a section where Jesus is now grown up and he goes to the synagogue as he always did in Nazareth. and he gets up to read, and he's given the scrolls, and he turns to the prophet Isaiah, and he reads this part. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring glad tidings to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim a year acceptable to the Lord. Rolling up the scroll, he handed it back to the attendant and sat down. And all the eyes of all the synagogue looked intently at him. There's more. They don't really accept him because they know who he's grown up with and who his mother and father are, or they think they do. And so they rush him and try to kill him actually that day. And but that's not the point for me of this. This is to let the oppressed go through free. And that's one of the jobs we have besides coming closer to God ourselves, to find ways to let the oppressed go through and trust that that those good things we do will not die with us. So I feel very grateful for that. Now I have some symbols of wonderful life here. Look at that. Can you see it, Scott? Can you see this caterpillar on this leaf? I don't know what you can see for sure.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, could you go ahead and point to it?
It's right here.
Okay, now I see it. Yes.
Now you see it? Okay. So it's about halfway grown. It gets huge. And at this stage, it will eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And so what I have typically done in the past, I've left this sort of a vase with a little milkweed in it on the mantle. And then when they're done, they go wandering around and up to my ceiling and they come out. Otherwise, I put them in a plastic container that I think you've seen if you've watched this program a few times. And then they do their chrysalis up in the top, the lid of the plastic container. And you can see it or I can give it away. I had 3 bad first experiences this year. I've only done about 10. People have given me caterpillars. These 2 have been given me now too. And so it's a bad, hard year for butterflies. All kinds of them. They're very, very not easy to be seen. Now, if we can see this, which I doubt if we can, there's an egg on this leaf. And what you'll see is how hard it is to see. So that's a good thing to observe. Now it's right at the bottom of my finger here. It's a little white dot. That finger.
Yeah. So you hold it. Sometimes you're holding it. You were holding it just right so that we could see the egg.
Okay. So that's an egg, the size of a pinpoint or a grain of sand, and it's hard. It's hard with my eyes not as good as they used to be to even find them these days. You typically look on the bottom of the milkweed leaf, and sometimes on the top, but very rarely. And then I take the leaf off, and I put them in a container like that. They can be there 4 days to hatch, and then another 2.5 weeks to eat and become big. The one that you saw before has about another week to go before it goes into chrysalis. So this is the last batch of the summer that they're still, unless with global warming and all, things just, the seasons change around a lot. So we might be going further into the fall if it stays hot. It's in a way been too hot up here. They leave Mexico in the end of February, beginning of March, in Michoacan in the south of Mexico, and they fly up here because they want it a little cooler. And so they have to have milkweed, the monarchs do, and flowers. So they get up here around late June or July and into August. So we wait for them to come up. And if you plant rue or parsley, you can raise the swallowtails, which love those foods up here in your garden, and you get your little eggs and your caterpillars. But I haven't seen any swallowtails either this year. So butterflies are down, bees are down. We make a big mistake doing that. And they're spraying for mosquitoes all over, which is causing a lot of damage to these other insects. These sprays don't just kill their target population. They kill. They kill. So we're talking about labor today. And I come from a family of immigrant from Alsace-Lorraine with a German work ethic, and a father who grew up on a farm and a mother who grew up as a daughter of a general store manager. So they have really strong work ethics. And we inherited those. I was born in 1931 and I inherited that. And my mother was determined I was going to learn these things. I had my jobs to do, helping with the ironing on Tuesdays and helping clean the house on Friday, and then Saturday morning to scrub the bathroom floors. And I don't think that ever took to me too well, but anyhow, that was my job as the oldest girl. And so when I went to Grailville, I was 18 and I just loved it. I went there for a time of silence and a time of contemplation. I was thrilled with the manual work and the silence and the quiet time and the time to think. And I wanted to be prepared to be an apostle in the world, a lay person, not a nun, and to be out there doing good things in the world. So we'll see if, like Joe Hill, I will live on, and I hope that all for all of you. And Scott, I don't know where we are right now in this ode to labor. Maybe we end with Joan Baez singing the same song because it's really so beautiful. And this one has images of all these people who have been assassinated. And also it has a text that you can read. That's quite nice.
Okay. Before we go to that, I'd like to just mention and call out to Graphman. I don't know who he is, but he says he's watching live right now. And he says, I saw an incredible migration when I lived in Santa Barbara, California. So.
Yes, those are the Western butterflies. They're a different species. And we're asked not to take our butterflies from the east side of the Rocky Mountains over to the others or the other way around, because those are the Western butterflies that fly down to their own routes down to Santa Barbara. Many of them stay over winter in the warmer California part. Yes, thank you very much for joining and making your comment.
So let's go to that wonderful introduction that you did for Joan Baez and her song here. So we'll just cue that up in a sec.
This was at Woodstock.
I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you or me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. The copper bosses killed you, Joe. They shot you, Joe, says I. Takes more than guns to kill a man, says Joe. I didn't die, says Joe. I didn't die. And standing there as big as life and smiling with his eyes, says Joe, what they can never kill went on to organize, went on to organize.
Thank you, Scott. And for those of you at all interested, or anybody from the Midwest near Cincinnati, Loveland, Ohio, our big show of Art of Hope for the Flowers is going up this weekend, and it will be up until the end of October, when I'll be there for the last week and be able to make arrangements to see you. So take a look at our website, hopefortheflowers.com, and we have various things on it, little videos and things about it, so that you can come and make an arrangement to come and see the show just by itself. It's in a beautiful oratory that's made of an old Ohio barn that is one of the great architectural structures of the United States. And it's been made into this beautiful, simple oratory. And I'm just very moved that there's a whole team there that's been putting up all these images and hanging butterflies from the ceiling and doing all this stuff. So by next week, next Monday, we hope to have some of those images from that show to show you, to share with you. But you can go there. You can, there'll be weekends. This coming weekend will be open from 12 to 4 on Saturday and Sunday, and the following weekend as well, as part of the Ohio sharing things. There's a lot of things all over Ohio. I'm an Ohio girl, by the way. I grew up in Cleveland. I graduated from Ohio State at the age of 36. But in the meantime, I was at Grailville for all those years, building up the art department. Okay, so it's my home state. So I'll be pleased to go back there. And then in November, if any of you are out in the West, we're going to be in Salt Lake City starting the first weekend of November for a musical of Hope for the Flowers each weekend at the Hart Theater, H-A-R-T, Hart Theater. So maybe I see you there. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.